Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel today. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, we'll be cutting and sewing these flare pants that you can see on your screen. So I used 3 yards of African print to achieve this style. If you're a size 8 to 10, I think 4 yards should be enough for you. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So I'll be cutting both the front and the back part of this pant together. So what I'll do is to fold the whole 3 yards, I'll fold it into 2. So if you are using 4 yards, go ahead and fold the whole 4 yards into 2. Okay, so I folded it into 2 equal parts, meaning I have 1.5 yard on top and I have 1.5 yard underneath. Okay, so after folding it into 2 like this, what I'm going to do now is to mark 4 inches. Okay, I marked 3.5 inches, but go ahead and mark 4 inches to be on the safer side. Okay, so mark 4 inches all the way and connect into a straight line to meet the length of your fabric. Okay, so this Ankara is by 45 inches, so you are going to determine the length of your pants. Okay, so I'm marking the 3.5 inches and I'm connecting into a straight line to meet the length of my fabric. Okay, so after doing that, guys, next thing I'm going to do is to mark 4 inches. So like I said before, mark 4 inches, don't do 3.5. So I'm doing 4 inches on this other side. This line, this allowance that I'm taking is going to be for our crotch extension. Okay, so if you're on a bigger side, you should mark about 4 inches. Okay, so what I'm doing is marking another 4 inches on the other end of this fabric. Okay, so I'll mark and I'll connect just like I did on this other end. I'll connect to the length of the fabric on that side. Okay, after doing that, guys, I'm going to start placing my measurements. So this pointy edge of this fabric is going to be the waistline, so that is where I'm going to start placing my measurements from. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is to divide your waist circumference by 3. Okay, so this is a flare pants, we don't have to divide it by 4 like we normally do. So I'm going to divide my waist measurement by 3. Okay, so the waist measurement I'm working with is about 26 inches. I'll divide it by 3. Okay, whatever it gives me is what I'm going to place. Okay, so whatever your waist measurement is, go ahead and divide it by 3. Okay, so I'll place my tape on this pointy edge and I'm going to go down by what he gave me. Okay, so I'm marking about 8.5 inches. So look at the way I'm placing my tape on that edge. I'm going to be moving it to mark the 8.5 inches and I'll connect. Okay, so whatever it gives you, if you have 10 inches, place your tape on this pointy edge and then mark your 10 inches all the way around. Okay, after marking, connect all the dots like this in form of a circle. Okay, so after doing that, this is our waistline. Okay, this is where the waistline of our pant is going to start from. So guys, next thing I'll do now is to determine the length of my pant. So I want my pant to be about 40 inches long, and I already took out 8.5 from this fabric, as you can see. So this 8.5 is not going to be included in my pant length. Okay, and for this pant also, I want to add about 1.5 inches to it for my band, because I want to add band to it. Okay, so if you are doing 2 inches for your band, you're going to take out the 2 inches. Okay, so what I'll do is to first of all take out the 1.5 inches from my band and I'll mark the length that I have here. The length I have on my fabric is about 41 inches. So now to get a more accurate circle, I'm going to plus the 8.5 inches that I already took out on this waist area, plus the 40 inches, which is going to be the length of my pants. So what I have on the waist area is 8.5 and the length of my pants is 40 inches. So 40 inches plus 8.5 gave me 48.5 inches. So I placed my tape on that center and I'm taking 48.5 inches all the way around. This is to get a more accurate circle. Okay, so as you can see, my tape is on that pointed edge. Okay, and I'm passing my tape around. I'm marking 48.5 inches all the way around. Okay, Guys, after marking all the way around, I got to this part of my fabric that is not as long as the other side. Remember, Ankara is by 45 inches, okay? So what I'll do now is to replace this part. I have to complete it with another fabric because it's not enough. It's not up to the 48.5 inches. So if you're using about 4 yards, I don't think you should have this issue. But if you have this issue, you are going to go ahead and calculate what is left and you're going to replace it. So I'm using the remaining part of this fabric to replace it. So what I'm doing is to cut off this part that I already have, the 48.5 inches. I'll cut off the extra fabric that I have there because this is the only fabric I'm working with. I don't have any other fabric. So I'm cutting off this part that is already complete, and I'll use the scrap fabric from this part to complete the other side, okay? So the fabric is folded into two, so this scrap fabric is supposed to be folded into two, okay? So I'm going to place it like this, okay, making sure I have about half an inch to stitch them together, okay, to complete it. So you can see that I'm placing this one on the half an inch, which is going to be my stitching allowance, and I used my pin to just hold it down. As you can see, it is folded into two. So I'll go ahead and continue my measurement, okay? So I'll place my tape on this pointed edge and I'll mark my 48.5 inches, okay? So I'll mark all the way around, okay, and I'll connect. After connecting, I'll go ahead and cut off the excess fabric. After doing that, I'll go ahead and pin them together, right sides facing right side, and I'll go ahead and just sew it and I'll iron it flat. It's not going to be obvious that you joined anything, okay? So after doing that, we'll go ahead and work on the crotch area. Guys, I've marked all the way around. I'll cut off this excess, okay? After doing that, I'll split it open, okay, because I'm going to pin them separately on each layer of the fabric, okay? So after cutting, I'll split the center open, so I have two of them, and I'm going to place them right sides facing right side. So guys, the next thing we'll do now is to work on this crotch area. So that is why we extended these lines out, okay? The first thing I will do is to take my crotch measurement. So a video is going to be displaying on the screen on how I take my own crotch measurement, okay? That is the one that is more accurate for me. Another way to take your crotch measurement is to divide your hip by 4, okay, and then you can add your ease allowance, 1 inch or 1.5 inches, okay? So whichever one works for you, okay? So my crotch measurement is usually 12 inches for my palazzo pants, okay, but this is a flip pant and I want the crotch area to be free. So normally when you are placing your crotch measurement, you're supposed to take out your band allowance, okay, before you place it. But because I want this pant to be free, I'm just going to place my tape on the waistline and I'll take the 12 inches, meaning I've added 1.5 inches to my crotch measurement, okay, which is going to help the pant to be free on the crotch area, okay? Next now do is to extend my crotch line. To do that, I'm going to divide my crotch measurement, which is 12 inches. I'll divide it by 4 and it gave me 3 inches. So what I did was to extend from this crotch line. I extended by 3 inches, so it gave me my crotch extension line, okay? So whatever your crotch measurement is, divide it by 4 to get your crotch extension line, okay? So I'm using my free hand to just connect from this point to be the 3 inches like this. So the next thing I'll do is to minus half an inch from what I have on the crotch extension line. So I'm marking 2.5 inches like this all the way to the length of my pants, and I'm going to connect, okay? After connecting, guys, I'll go ahead and cut. But before you cut, please add half an inch, okay, for your stitching allowance on this crotch area. I forgot to do that for mine. So this part of the pants is the front. That is why I labeled it F. Okay, it means front. Okay, remember we are cutting both the front and the back of these pants together. Okay, so add half an inch to this part that you can see me cutting, so you can use it as your stitching allowance. I forgot to do that for mine, so go ahead and do that. So we are going to work on the back crotch. So on this other end again, where we have our 4 inches, you know I mentioned earlier that these lines that we drew is going to be for our crotch extension. So what I'll do now is to place my tape on the waistline. I'll go down by 12 inches, just like I did for the front. No need to take out the band intake, okay, because you want the flap to be free. So what I'll do is to extend the crotch line. I did 3 inches for the front, but you know the back crotch is usually bigger than the front, so I'm adding 1 inch extra to it. So I'm taking 4 inches for the crotch extension for the back. Okay, so as you can see me, I'm connecting from the crotch line into the crotch extension line like this, and then I'll use my free hand to just connect it to create the crotch like this. Okay, so after doing that, guys, next now I'll do is to mark my zipper allowance for the back. This is the back, and I want my zipper to be at the back because there's no joining at the side of this pant. Okay, so I'm taking 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. I'll mark 1.5 inches. I'll keep marking, and then I'm going to figure out where I want my zipper to stop. Okay, so this pant is free. I want my zipper to stop at 8 inches, so I'm taking out my band. Once I add this band to it, the band is 1.5 inches. I'm going down to 8 inches, which is where I want my zipper to stop. You see the way I connected. Okay, so this is how I'm going to cut on the crotch line. Okay, this is my zipper allowance, and this is the crotch line. Okay, on this part of the pants, just like we did for the front, I'm going to take out half an inch from what I already have on the crotch extension line. What I have there is 4 inches. I'll take half an inch away from it, which will give me 3.5 inches. So I'll mark the 3.5 inches all the way to pants length. I'll connect, and then on this waist area, since we are doing a freehand method, we are not cutting on our pattern, so we have to add allowance. Okay, so I'm adding half an inch on this waistline. This half an inch is what I'll use to stitch my band to the pants. And like I mentioned earlier, don't forget to add half an inch to the front crotch. I forgot to do that for mine. Okay, after doing that, I'll go ahead and cut. So guys, I'm done cutting, and this is what I have. Okay, so I'm going to just fold it for you guys to see. I have the front and the back. You don't have to open it. All you have to do is to pin the crotch area together, and you can go ahead and sew. But I just want to show you guys the difference between the front and the back. Okay, so once you fold it, you see that the back has zipper allowance. The back is just wider than the front because of the zipper allowance and the crotch extension. And for this pant, I'm not going to be adding pocket to it. Okay, because I don't have enough fabric. But if you want to add pocket to yours, I have another tutorial of the short version of this pants. I'm going to leave the link in the comment section. For that tutorial, I had to split the two sides just to add my pocket. You can use that pattern to still cut out a long pant if you want. So the link will be in the comment section. Okay, so what I'm doing now is placing my fabric back the way it was, right side facing right side, and I'm going to pin the crotch area together. So I'm pinning the two front crotch together and the two back crotch together. Make sure you don't mix them up. For the front, I'll use half an inch to sew. For the back also, I'll leave the zipper allowance. I'll just sew this other side all the way down. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew the crotch together, and this is what I have. Okay, so for the back, I didn't sew the zipper allowance. I still left it open. Okay, and for the front, I just stitched it using my half an inch. Okay, after doing that, the next thing I'll do is to turn my pants over. Okay, so I can pin the crotch together, the crotch area together. So the front is now on the front and the back is at the back. Okay, so I'm going to pin the crotch together. Make sure you arrange it very well. Go ahead and pin. After pinning, you are just going to sew the crotch area close. Okay, after sewing, I'm going to turn my pant to the right side. So guys, after sewing my crotch in place, this is what I have. I went ahead to turn it to the right side. The next thing I'll do now is to cut out my band. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to place my tape on this waist area, and I'm going to measure what I have all the way around. Whatever you get from this waistline is what you are going to use to cut out the band. Okay, so after measuring, I got like 30 inches. I went ahead to add extra 1.5 inches to be on the safer side. So when I'm done sewing and I have any excess, I'll just go ahead and cut off the excess. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, the length of my band is going to be 1.5 inches. Okay, so before cutting out my band, I'll go ahead and also hem the base of my pants. If you don't want to hem it, you can overlock it, or you can use your hemming gum to hold it down. So I've gone ahead to cut out my band, which is 1.5 inches. Okay, like I said before, and it is on fold. So once I open it up, it is 3 inches. So I went ahead to fold in about half an inch on both sides. Okay, just so it gives me a neat finishing. Okay, so you can see that I have my 3 inches on fold. It is 1.5 inches. Okay, and I ironed my interface into it to give my fabric strength. So what I'll do is to place this band. I'll sew first of all, and then I'll use the other part to just cover the rough edges up. Okay, so after sewing my band in place, guys, this is what I have. You can see that it's looking neat both on the inside and even on the outside. Last thing I'll do is to fix my zipper in place, and yeah, that is all for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like this video. Leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching.